Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already, trying to hit 30k on this channel, and drop a like on this video. I didn't do a post-game reaction the other day because I had pulled an all-nighter the day before, and I went to bed early. There was no chance in hell I was staying awake long enough to actually give any level of valid analysis of basketball games. So with that out of the way, I watched 4 games today, but it felt like less or more. What am I trying to say? Or it felt like less. So I watched Bulls versus Suns, second half of Pacers versus Celtics, second half of Hawks versus Thunder, and the Lakers versus Blazers game. I decided to watch that instead of the Hornets Warriors game, which I don't know, I may or may not have regretted. But so let's just talk about, first of all, the 2 half games that I watched. So for Celtics versus Pacers, it was a relatively close game at halftime, if I'm remembering correctly. And I was like, yeah, that should be a pretty good game. Now, there was not many notes. Also, I talked about a couple of episodes ago or videos ago that I didn't like doing notes during games. I think I decided what I'm going to do from now on is do post-game notes, so that's what I have here. So for Celtics versus Pacers, the story of this game was that Tatum could not make a damn shot, and Kemba Walker had probably the best game of the season, at least the best game I've seen from him. He had 30-plus points on good efficiency. There's a meme that I've seen amongst Celtics fans, and it kind of rings true that Kemba, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown are not allowed to all have a good game at the same time. A combination of the two can have a good game, but it's impossible for all 3 of them to have a good night. And it is worth mentioning that if all 3 of them have a good game, then that's pretty much a win every time. So I guess that would kind of explain some of the Celtic struggles. But yeah, that's just very unfortunate. It would be nice if all 3 could have a good game, and it's not a matter of not having enough shot distribution. They get enough shots pretty much every game. It's just, yeah, I don't know. That's probably annoying if you're a Celtics fan. So Kemba played good. That's nice to see. There's still a lot of questions about Kemba in Boston right now, but he's had a couple of better games as of late. Also, this whole game, I was waiting for the Celtics to blow this lead. They didn't have a substantial lead, but especially later in the fourth quarter, they had a decent one. And I'm actually friends with a lot of Celtics fans and follow a lot of them on Twitter, so it's just funny watching them flip the fuck out. They're like, oh god, they're gonna fucking blow it again. They didn't this time, so good for them. I also want to say for Jason Tatum's case, if I remember correctly, I'm gonna pull up the box score. I'm pretty certain he finished with 9 points. And on horrible efficiency, as you can imagine. Yeah, he had 9 points on 4 for 18. He had the virus apparently, and he's been saying that that's been affecting his performance. I'm going to take his word for that, so I'm not going to be too hard on him. So yeah, that's just tough for Jason Tatum. He definitely seems less aggressive on the drive, which I imagine that's part of it. So I'll give him that pass. So Hawks versus OKC, this game was fucking obnoxious. If you didn't watch it, the OKC wore their orange jerseys while the Hawks wore their red jerseys, which already is bad, but then you consider that the hue of orange and the hue of red were so close to each other. It literally looked like when you play 2K and you accidentally give both teams white jerseys. It was like, who is where and how and what? I'd like to know if that confused the players on the court. I imagine it didn't. But I mean, there's been times where I've played like scrimmage basketball, or not scrimmage, pickup, and there's guys wearing different colored shirts, and you make a split-second decision on a pass, and you're like, fuck, I just passed it to the opposite team. So I didn't notice that really happen in the game, but I imagine it would confuse them a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, I was barely paying attention to this game because honestly it was hard to watch because of the jersey thing. Just a couple of the notes that I have. Trey had a very rough game in this one. I know there was one possession where he had 3 opportunities because of offensive rebounds and none of them dropped. It was just not a pretty game for Trae Young. 7 for 21 overall. And other than that, Theo Maldon, he impressed me in this game. I believe he finished with 12 assists. I know OKC fans really love Theo. I've seen them mention him a good amount of times, and he's been good in the time that he's played, and this was a very good game. He also did a good job of controlling the pace and playing the right way, not forcing anything, so that was definitely cool to see. I didn't notice much from him on defense, but honestly, I wasn't paying as much attention on that end, so he might be doing something on defense, and I don't know. Also, very, very nice dunk from Darius Bazley in this one later, and I think midway through the fourth quarter, or maybe it was late fourth quarter, but it was very nice. OKC won this one. I mean, if Trae Young is going to shoot 33% from the field, with the Hawks already having the struggles they have, they're probably not going to win the game, and that's exactly what happened. The Hawks did get it to like a 9-point game with like 2 minutes left, but then OKC went on a quick run and made sure that game was sealed. Then let's talk about Bulls versus Suns. So the title of this video is going to be, Are the Phoenix Suns Contenders? Now, the Bulls are not the team that you beat and you go, oh my God, this team's really good. But this was the first time watching a Suns game where, because I'm a Bulls fan and my attention is just far more significant when I'm watching a Bulls game than any other basketball game, this one was definitely a case where I was able to really hone in on the Suns more than I ever have this season. And the details about this team is what gets me like, this team is about as close or as good as you can be without being a contender. Because I would not label the Suns a contender. That's why it's a question in the title. But they are going to be a very good playoff team. Like, not good enough to win a championship, but good enough to even, I'd say, push a real contender to a 7-game series where it's like, yeah, we know who's going to win this one, but this team, man, yeah, like just like kind of like the OKC Thunder last year, what they did with the Rockets, but then apparently the Rockets were fucking garbage. So that's a whole nother conversation. But this Suns team, I was more impressed with the defense and the offense, even though the offense was pretty good in this game. Defensively, very good wing defense. Of course, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson is pretty good defensively, and then Jay Crowder is the defender he is. Particularly Mikal, like, if he could be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations one day, because he was given Zach LaVine fits. I don't know what the actual box score was, but I can tell you Zach LaVine had one of his not as good games lately. He finished with 24 points. Wow, but he only shot the ball 16 times. That's little for Zach LaVine. So yeah, he actually was efficient, but I can tell you, watching this game, he could not get into the damn paint. And you would be like, oh, well, attribute that to DeAndre Ayton, but the thing is, Mikal was so good at bumping him out of the way of getting into the paint without fouling. Like, he was cutting off every lane that he went for, and once he did find even the tiniest bit of space, DeAndre Ayton was there to cut off Zach LaVine. So all of his points pretty much came from three-pointers or mid-range shots. Like, his ability to get to the basket was not there in this game, and Zach LaVine is one of the better slashers in the NBA, so that's a testament to their defense. Good Lord, I can't talk. Initially, the Suns went on a run in the first quarter, but then the Bulls closed it out and got it close. They're up like 12 points with like within the first like 3 minutes, and then the Bulls came back and they actually took a pretty substantial lead. Then in the third quarter, the Bulls had a horrible lineup out there, and they kept Zach LaVine out of the game for like 8 straight minutes. And the Suns gradually got the game relatively close. It was like 7 points to end the third, and then right at the start of the fourth quarter, boom, lead gone. And then I think the total stat was that what was the number? Like, the Bulls scored like 11 points in the fourth quarter and the Suns scored 27. Yeah, it's not, you don't win a basketball game doing that. So, maybe don't be that shit. Yeah, that's not how you do it. I'm not too mad at the Bulls though. The one negative here for the Bulls outside of the usuals, I don't want to go too over top on the negative just because I talk about the Bulls plenty on this channel. One thing was they defended the pick and roll horribly, and Wendell has been great defensively, left leg switch, which I forgot to do the last one. I apologize. Severe lapse in judgment on my part. Pick and roll was defended horribly, which when you're playing DeAndre Ayton, who is one of the better pick and roll men in the league, and Chris Paul, who is probably the greatest pick and roll ball handler of all time, that's not going to end very well. So pick and roll defense killed him in this one. Going cold on offense killed him in this one. Kobe White got an injury, which meant he really had nothing to bring to close this game, and yet for some reason he was in the game over Satoransky. And then Luke Cornett also made 3 threes in a row for the team, which was nice to see because he normally just sucks ass. So good for Luke Cornett for actually doing something for once in his goddamn life. Also, just for some Bulls rotation stuff, I've been mostly nice to Billy Donovan this year just because, like, I can't complain about a coach like Billy Donovan after dealing with Jim Boylan for 2 years. But his rotations are also sometimes questionable. Like, he did Archie, Satoransky, Denzel Valentine, Thad Young, and Luke Cornett at one point. Or it might have been Patrick Williams instead of Luke Cornett at a couple of points. But, like, that's not a good offensive lineup. Defensively, it's fine. but it's not good. And then why? I'm pretty sure, unless you correct me on this, as far as I'm aware, Chandler Hutchinson is back from injury or from virus protocol. I'm trying to avoid saying the co one. So why is he getting minute? Why is Archie getting minutes over him? Because he's like a 6 foot point guard who, if you don't know, who is an okay 3-point shooter, passable ball handler, and he makes hustle plays from time to time. Like that's Archie is a solid third string point guard. He should not be in the rotation over Chandler Hutchinson. But anyways, yeah, win for the Suns. I think very highly of that team. For their offense overall, their passing was very good, as you would expect. Chris Paul. Also, for the Suns, Chris Paul is better than Devin Booker. I saw a lot of people, like, when Chris Paul made the team over Devin Booker, they were like, what? I look at the stats, and Devin Booker is averaging like 26 points per game, and that tells me, like, come on, dude, watch the Suns. Hey, Chris Paul is the best player on this team. He just clearly impacts winning far more than Devin Booker, and that's not to say that Devin Booker doesn't impact winning. It's just that Chris Paul can go to a team that last year wasn't good and make me question if they're a contender. That says a lot about how good Chris Paul is. Anyways, Lakers versus Blazers. This game was kind of boring, and I expected it not to be. First half, Damian Lillard was going off. Second half, he cooled down a little bit. He was still good in the second half, but, not holy shit Damian Lillard mode like half of the time he plays. Other than that, I mean, the Lakers in the third quarter got a lead. They made a lead. The Blazers basically spent the rest of the game trying to come back from that lead, and then it essentially stayed around 10 to, or maybe even 8 to like 14 points, and it just fluctuated between that for the rest of the game. And any hope the Blazers had to make a run, the Lakers would immediately nip it in the bud. The one thing I will say in the Lakers case is a lot of talk about the Lakers without Anthony Davis. An interesting statistic that I saw, or number that I saw before or after I made my video on them really needing AD, is that they are 4-1 with Dennis Schroeder, but without Anthony Davis, they are now 5-1 because Dennis Schroeder is back from injury in this one. And while he didn't do anything crazy, I believe he just had like 20 points in this one. Let me pull that up to confirm. He had 22 on 4 for 16 shooting, only 2 assists. But the fact that there's another guy on the team besides for LeBron that can create offense for themselves, because when it's not AD or Dennis, it's literally just LeBron creating offense, it definitely makes a world of difference, because there can be times where LeBron is off the court, and instead of Alex Caruso and Kyle Kuzma trying to create all the offense, is instead Dennis Schroeder, and he's good in running the pick and roll with Montrezl Harrell, so the offense is a whole lot better. Any other things? Oh, yeah, Robert Covington can't shoot. He was 0 for 5 from 3 in this one. I'm actually curious. I'm going to pull it up because I'm not sure. But I feel like any time I watch a Blazers game, Robert Covington is missing his threes. So he is shooting 32% from 3 on 5 attempts, which is a career low. So, yeah, that hunch was correct. So start making your threes, Robert. Anyways, those are my thoughts for the games today. Oh, wait. I put one note at the end here. There was a clip, and I'm also going to just make this a thing here as well, just on top of post-game reactions, just if stuff comes up that I want to talk about. LaMelo did the Melo 3-point celebration where, you tap the 3 to the dome, and a fucking Warriors commentator said, LaMelo, be original. Shouldn't do a 3-point rating or celebration just because your name is Melo. Like, do you know how many players have done the 3 to the dome thing, but just because LaMelo has the name Melo, has Melo in his name, he's not allowed to do the same celebration so many other fucking people do? That's the stupidest goddamn thing I've ever heard. Like, you're talking about being original. Is LaMelo not one of the most original basketball players you've ever seen? Like, he's so unique, and you're talking about being original because he did a celebration. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, that's me being mad about something that doesn't matter. Also, the newest deep dive is out now. I expected it to do worse than the others, but it's done significantly worse than I originally anticipated. It's about Sam Hinkie. I'd appreciate it if you I'd appreciate it if you could go watch that if you have not already. Apparently, I can't fucking talk. But yeah, if you've made it to this point in the video, comment iCarly, because I've been watching that a lot lately. Yeah, alright, bye.